want a tank.
Good evening.
Yeah.
It's Thursday, May 12th, 2022. I hate you, asshole. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. I'm RisenLadyHeathen. Hey, asshole. What separates our show from other millennial news podcasts?
Said I know we need a tank.
Right. An M1.
Sure.
We don't want one of those jack-in-the-box jobs.
Okay, but we're hiring some idiot to be inside of it, so when it
Robot.
gets blown up, we don't have to worry about it.
Oh,
I know how to
okay.
play that old game of the little tanks, but in real.
Oh,
If you want a
okay.
tank, I want a javelin.
We have a boomer, and not just any boomer. We have Mr. Boomer Rex himself.
Yeah, I'm over here with my little blisters on my ball and chain. And...
Dude, I gave you the animal skin to wrap around it so it doesn't leave those marks. God
yeah,
damn,
but then it
stop
cuts
whining.
off the circulation and my foot gets all asleep.
Whatever, you're a boomer. It's not like you're going to keep your feet anyway.
Oh, God. Asshole. There is a reason you have your name. God.
You too eat,
The
sleep,
American
breathe
Chicken
politics,
Council
and
thought
I'm learning that's 3 unique perspectives we share along with the facts from our literal round table. First off, I just listened to our deep dive on the correspondence dinner and realized we're missing a huge chunk.
Oh.
What happened is Mr. Rex spilled some cashews, and I thought I paused it. So when I unpaused it, it paused it instead. So sorry about that, folks.
It was really good.
It was good, and I'm really
I
annoyed.
thought Biden was going to do some impressive stuff afterwards, and then he stopped being as impressive.
And I'm really annoyed I didn't realize that fuck up sooner. Just kill me, sob. This is
Oh.
not good. So I apologize for that, y'all, but you got to hear the peanut argument, so there you go.
Yeah.
It's out
No, it
there.
was cashews.
The cashews.
Yeah, no,
it
for
was
peanuts,
cashews.
I'd just left it on the floor.
Fair. All right, let's dig right into our headlines. Another Russian ship is on fire. What is going on?
The Fezvolod Bobrov is being towed back to Sevastopol out of the area around Snake Island after it caught fire. Yeah, right, caught fire. Anyway, so the Russians have lost another ship. Ha ha.
I love how their excuse is, it caught fire. Yeah, after it was bombed, you fucking idiots. Like,
Yeah. Or they're really that clumsy and untrained, and they started a fire. Either way, it's shithole third world
yeah, kind
military.
of, sort of, like, I would not be saying, oh, it was just a fire. I'd be saying, oh yeah, they bombed us. It was terrible. It was horrible. I can't believe they're doing that. This is ridiculous. So anyway, Russia withdrawing troops after heavy losses. Yeah.
Yeah,
not
the
surprised.
Ukrainians have been fighting back really well over there on the eastern border. And they kept the Russians from crossing the river. And in the process, they killed essentially a battalion combat team.
Nice.
So that's a 1% loss of everything in Ukraine
Fuck yeah.
for the Russians.
Well,
And it probably didn't take more than 5 minutes.
Because if it's... Are we talking one of their battalion combat teams, or one
Yes.
Okay, fine. Because I was going to say, ours are like 3 times the size. I saw somebody stack them up against each other, and you go,
Yeah.
fuck.
Well,
We really do spend a lot on our military.
Yeah.
Well, and we don't have the little jack-in-the-box tanks.
Yeah.
So anyway, there were, I think I counted 24 dead vehicles, 20 of them were tanks, and 18 had done jack-in-the-box. So, hey,
Yeah.
it's got to be fun to be in a Russian tank. Yuck. Looks like a terrible way to die. Anyway, Ukrainian forces, this is all from the UK intelligence update. Ukrainian forces are continuing to counterattack in the region north of Kharkiv, recaptured several towns and villages toward the Russian border, which also puts them closer to having some of the Russian supply centers in Russia in range. So, and why would you not hit those?
Yeah.
So, go get them, Ukraine.
Keep
Anyway,
up the good work,
it's a-
folks.
The withdrawal of those forces is just reinforcing the fact Russians can't capture anything. They can't move forward. Again, they have a shithole third world military.
Yeah.
What they have is the dregs of what the Soviet Union had that they didn't bother to maintain. They didn't train their troops. They didn't maintain their vehicles, and they bought shitty tires in China.
Worst case scenario for what people were projecting they could actually put forward and do stuff with.
And so you think their strategic offensive forces are in any better shape? I'm betting money they are not.
Right?
So. Hey.
All right. More blowback for Putin as Finland applies for NATO membership.
Yeah, Finland had sat out NATO for quite a while to maintain a sort of balance between the Russians and NATO, right?
Yeah.
And they're right there on Russia's border and so forth. Well, turns out that shithole Pooty Boy's invasion of Ukraine has changed the equation for the Finns, and they are now going to push to join NATO. Hey, way to go, Pooty Boy. Now you have another enemy on your border. So, and you've lost whatever influence you had in Finland.
And again, that's another country that you will not be able to invade without getting directly involved in a firefight with us. So
the
good
West
luck.
Without getting fucking nuked.
No,
if
you just gave the
necessary.
West another Cold War at best.
Yeah.
And that means every time any Western country stubs its toe, some section of the crazy will shout about how the Russians did it.
Yeah. Nope.
This is a damaged whatever. Likely damaged whatever long relationship building they've tried.
Yeah. No, they have set themselves back 30 years. So, anyway, screw them. Hey, you guys ought to get rid of Putin. I'm sure you can find a fourth floor window to pitch the son of a bitch out of.
He just fall down a lot. That one
Yeah.
Russian did when
Yeah.
he was in FBI custody.
Yeah.
And another way Russians are fucking up, Russian soldiers begging parents for money to buy body armor. What the fuck? Russia.
We did this too.
They're not
so
the
we
first
shouldn't throw a lot
soldier
of rocks.
to do that. The Russians were expecting to ride an armored column into Kiev and generate a new government, right? You don't need body armor to do that. You're in a mechanized vehicle, right? A tank, an armored personnel carrier, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Didn't work out that way. Now they're on foot, and people are taking pot shots at them. Aw, shuckadoodles. Hey, Pooty Boy, you have some splaining to do. So, anyway, it's exactly what you would expect from somebody with as limited an intellect as Putin.
Yeah, no, just dumb. If you were going to do this, fine. Get the oligarchs together, buy all of the Wish bullshit body armor.
No, they were too busy stealing.
I know.
And then
the
giving
dumb
Putin
part.
a cut.
No, this is why oligarchs always fuck it up. Like, oligarchs hire me, goddamn. You could run your little idiot garden. It's not fucking hard.
Well, and I want to point out that that's what the Republicans have assisted the U.S. oligarchs in doing. By the way, they're not all U.S. oligarchs. If you look at where their money is, lots of them have money in places that you wouldn't want money to be.
Yeah, the oligarchs.
They're multinational oligarchs, absolutely. And so they've been stealing, U.S. oligarchs have been stealing for years, thanks to the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Which is why you have potholes in your roads. It's why your school system is bad. It's why your bridges are falling down. You probably ought to stop voting for the re-thugs at some point. But hey,
His only answer is some company can do it for you, and
yeah, they
companies are
can.
what got you here.
I've only ever seen one privatized operation that worked, and it worked like fucking clockwork. So, anyway.
What was it?
It was the motor vehicle division in the state of Washington.
Yeah,
And again, they were like a third more expensive.
yeah.
But at one time, I renewed my license. I walked in and I never stopped walking.
Yeah, I've had some good experiences with the third party.
Yep.
But,
Again, it costs
as you
more.
said, it costs more.
Yep.
So
But hey, if you're willing to pay that bit extra, right? And then I've dealt with the New Mexico
gotta have
Department
that
of Motor
bit extra.
Vehicles, which is
Yeah.
completely useless.
no.
Just
That's why
mind-boggling.
everyone's vision of hell is fucking DMV.
yeah.
Oh.
There was a time when the one in New Mexico was good.
Right.
But anyway.
All right. Russian general led cluster bomb attacks on civilians in Ukraine. Who is this man?
Well-
Ukrainians shoot him in the cock. God damn it.
Yep. Well, catch him and hang him.
Yeah, no. Fuck.
So this is the same clown who used cluster bomb attacks on civilians in Syria,
Yeah.
right? So
Excellent.
just another war criminal assigned to the Ukraine operation, right?
We should go over the rule that, like, if you're thought of having done 2 war crimes, we don't even fuck around and check. If someone catches you, they just do you right
Yeah,
there.
the second time you just get shot in the
Yeah,
head.
just-
End of
that's-
discussion.
Yeah.
2 separate cases, fuck them, summary execution, and I think we're still going to be fucking up less than Texas's
Oh yeah,
death row.
agreed.
Alexander Zuravalov.
Yep.
So anyway, come on, Ukraine, you can kill another general. A lot of these appear to be coming out of Russia. I wonder if Ukraine would like to borrow a B-52.
Right.
Fair.
So
They can steal it.
what?
They can steal it.
That's true. Right.
We should absolutely paint the Ukrainians for everyone we can't get a good answer for. They're kind of like the Irish.
Yep. Actually, that's all you'd have to do is show one on the runway with
Right.
the Ukrainian flag painted on the vertical tail.
Yep.
Fair.
Yeah.
Thousands of Ukrainians sent to filtration centers and tens of thousands taken to Russia. What
Yeah,
is
well, this
going
is,
on?
Russia's slave trade, right? This is exactly what you would expect from Putin and his friends. So, anyway, they're taking people they captured in Ukraine and putting them through filtration centers.
Yep.
And then they're stripping them of their identification and so forth and sending them deep into Siberia.
Yeah.
So, as, again, effectively slaves. So, here's another one. Hey, Russia, when you want to come back into the first world and trade with us and, be able to connect to the SWIFT network and, get the money back that the U.S. has seized and little stuff like that, then you have to give us a full accounting. We know that you're writing down the names. You will produce that list,
Yeah.
and then you will produce those people,
Yep.
and they will be interviewed, and those that want to return to Ukraine will.
Goddamn. Yeah.
And then you'll pay
You have to stop
reparations.
doing fucking war crimes if you ever want this to stop.
Yeah. No, it's not. We're going to remember this. We're going
Yeah.
to punish Russia until
Yeah.
they have made good on everything they did. We're going to use their sovereign wealth
Yeah.
to rebuild Ukraine. We've got $630 billion of it. We just need to start distributing it.
Like, is
Fuck
Russia
'em.
betting that, like, climate change is going to go bad way faster than anyone thinks? Like, the fuck are you doing?
Anyway, fuck 'em.
Is he trying to collapse the military because he knows that's who's really going to look for his ass when he runs?
Oh, hadn't thought of that. He has certainly done a good job. And he has demonstrated the weakness of the Soviet military. He doesn't have the GDP to rebuild it.
Nope.
And so what he has done is demonstrated that Russia is a third world country and he's a tin pot dictator.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
fuck
but
him.
that's what's so weird is every other one throughout history either
Yeah.
knew it earlier, right? Or again, Russia, you were in the best position to play that game. What the fuck?
Yep.
God damn, this was dumb.
Right?
Yeah. No, just incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Russia can rejoin the first world. Well, someday with their tiny little
I don't know. I'll be dead. It'll be
GDP
fine.
the size of Tennessee.
I
But they can do that after they have paid reparations for the damage in Ukraine and to the people of Ukraine and so forth, and have surrendered the soldiers who committed war crimes to the and have sent them to the gallows.
And returned the parts of Ukraine that they tried to steal.
Yep, including Crimea.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah. All right. Judge Greenlights lawsuit against pro-Trump group.
So here's this group, right, in Colorado, right, that wandered around with fake identification and little fake badges and weapons on their hips and interviewed voters looking for signs of, right, voter fraud, right? This is intimidation. It's what they did. They're being sued for it,
Good.
right?
Wasn't this what Republicans got in trouble for last time when they weren't allowed to fucking do shit for
Yep.
50 years or
That's
whatever?
why I got the 92
Except this is
consent
worse
decree.
than they
Oh,
ever
yeah.
were. So,
No,
Anyway.
but they raised the temperature more slowly than last time.
yep. But what we need to do now is that we need to watch these civil proceedings very closely, and when criminal charges are appropriate, they need to be brought and prosecuted.
Yeah.
Right? This is voter intimidation. That's a fucking felony.
Yep.
Yeah. Do not mess with
And we need to just
voting.
line them up at the bar of justice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, got plenty of room in D.C. to keep them.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, report the crimes to the FBI. Say you think it was racially motivated. They're required to investigate that shit.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I like that.
I certainly wouldn't trust your local cops with this. Nothing against your local cops. I don't know them personally,
Right.
We also know that
Yeah,
local
but I do know
cops
some numbers
are
that
a
give me
bit
some
more
fucking
questionable.
pause.
Yeah.
Yep. So
All right.
anyway, this is great. Let's hope it follows up with criminal charges.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm not holding my breath, but we'll
I'm not
see.
either, but it's where it should go.
Hopefully. All right, Boomer Rex is about damn time. Tell me the good news.
So speaking of local cops,
Excellent.
the Missoula County Sheriff's Office in Montana has canceled 2 upcoming training sessions for the staff of a detention facility, which would have featured self-described oath keeper and constitutional sheriff
Yeah.
as the trainer.
Aye.
Montana Standard reports Missoula County Sheriff's Office spokeswoman Gene Smith sent an email stating the town no longer will hold those 2 sessions scheduled for May 31st and September 19th with Rick Whitehead, who ran for sheriff on the platform that he was an oath keeper and a constitutional sheriff. So anyway, way to go, Missoula.
Prison, can I trouble you to write down posse comitatus?
What's that?
It's, well, the act is the thing that keeps the military from being able to do cool
Yeah.
law enforcement shit. But more importantly, there's a nonsense political movement that has constitutional sheriffs that went on to spawn the sovereign citizens and all the rest. I can understand why a sheriff would sign on to that because it says he's
You can do
basically a
anything.
law
He's the
king.
law. Yeah.
Yeah.
Posse comitatus?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that decision was apparently prompted by a Reuters story published on May the 6th that exposed how U.S. police trainers with far-right ties are conducting law enforcement training sessions.
It doesn't take much to become one of the the trainers cops will need.
Yep. They ended the Missoula Police Department ended its relationship with a training group that advocates for police violence in February. This was the Killology Research Group, led by former Army Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman. By the way, if you leave the Army as a lieutenant colonel, you were
The Army
not
said,
up
"No,
and
thank you."
outed.
Yeah.
And he held 2 police training sessions for Missoula officers. This is just nonsense, right?
Oh, yeah.
These are people who shouldn't be anywhere near law enforcement.
These are people who shouldn't have fucking pocket knives, mostly.
So anyway,
Like, fuck, man. No, these are the ones who, like, the gun's gonna make it so they're not a victim. Like, wow, man, it sounds like you were a victim and you still need to talk about that. Like, it sounds like you have a very detailed picture of what's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
And
just
guns aren't magic, bro, and I think you're just gonna, like, mag dump on whoever's downrange. It's gonna be, like, pick one of the various vigilante shootings. And
But the whole idea of killology is idiotic, right? It starts with the assumption that cops are under threat.
Yeah.
There is no war on police.
no, stop doing the things that are likely to generate one.
Absolutely. And if you look at people with similar jobs, by the way, garbage collection is a similar job, it is more dangerous than being a police officer, and largely for the same reasons.
I usually unfairly use the librarian argument, but
Yeah.
part of it is librarian's the first person who has to talk to the shouty man with a knife. Well, no one knew he had a knife until
Until
the thing that
he
happened
was
to the
asked to
librarian.
leave or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, right, there ain't no war on cops. Never has been. It's not as dangerous.
Maybe
as
in the 70s when you were getting up to 400 a year,
Yeah.
but
When I worked at the drive-thru of McDonald's, I would get death threats regularly.
yeah.
And that was like, we were a good McDonald's. We had you in and out. We went through
No, that's
probably 250 cars in the hour, like 2 hours of lunchtime. That's a lot of
That's a
fucking
lot.
cars.
Yep.
Because we were right off the highway.
that's my problem with the earlier story about the idiots wandering around with badges and fucking guns. If you really do think something weird happened in an election and you get this entangled in it, you don't need weapons, right? In fact, if someone blows you away, that's going to get investigated, all the shit.
Yep.
So, no, dumb.
And if you come to my door with a gun on your hip
Right.
as a, quote, concerned citizen, and I tell you to leave my property and you do anything but turn on your heel and
Right.
leave,
We're gonna have a problem.
we're going to have a real problem. And if you touch that weapon, you're going home in a bag.
Yeah, no, we're not. Madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, why? Just
Don't go to people's houses.
armed.
yeah.
Just don't. Unless you are a legitimate person there for a legitimate
In
reason.
which case you will identify yourself.
Yeah.
You will
You
produce
have a badge
identification.
of some sort. Like,
Anyway,
fucking craziness. All right.
so stop training.
Yeah, stop getting trained from these idiots.
Yeah.
And part of it is these are the cheaper courses, right? The bullshit tactical stuff is always cheaper and easier.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
what the bad cops roll
Right.
into. So you want to kick fucking Dave some money, and
Yeah.
yeah, well, Dave was probably a fuck up. You know how I know? He's teaching fucking urban handgunnery or
Yeah.
whatever nonsensical bullshit.
Complete nonsense.
All right, so for our next story, dumbass of the day, I'm going to say your piece, and then I need to explain a few things to you apparently. So go ahead.
I don't know. Now you're in trouble. What have you done?
No, this isn't an in trouble thing. It's that just go.
You're just gonna tell them how it is.
So anyway, InfoWars founder Alex Jones was
Ah.
reported to have had an angry meltdown this week. How the hell would you know?
Yeah.
Right? The man screeches continuously.
Well, that's what gets the big shares.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's shouting at his viewers for not spending enough money at the InfoWars store,
Well,
which I turned on all my various protections and went to the InfoWars store.
yeah.
If you're buying from there, you're dumb.
Yeah.
So anyway, declared that unnamed forces were waging a war against you and your family through inflation and collapse. And then pivoted to hawking gear from his online marketplace. This is life and death. He says, if you don't support us, you helping the enemy.
Yep.
So mostly
Alex
what he
Jones gonna
hawks
have to
is
eat you, too.
B12 vitamins.
Oh, yeah. Wow,
So
that's
just-
the one that's hardest to do anything bad to yourself.
No, that's why.
Yeah, no, you. Hey.
So anyway, Jones recently filed for bankruptcy to avoid paying the judgment from the Sandy Hook Elementary School,
Doesn't feel that way.
where he falsely accused those people of being crisis actors. Department of Justice trustee has accused Jones of abusing the bankruptcy process to avoid paying. So we'll see how that turns out.
Fight.
That could go against him very, very badly.
Well, I wish him all the ill.
So anyway, well, there are records of him taking money
Yeah.
out of his business, et cetera, et cetera. So that can be clawed back.
One thing you have to understand about Alex Jones is this is nothing special. This is every day for
Oh, yeah.
Alex
No,
Jones.
absolutely.
This is not worth even mentioning, because by mentioning it, you are feeding into so somebody else talked about me.
Story?
Again, this is what he wants. He tries to develop whatever. So I think that unless something truly whatever happens, that we should just not talk about him, because he's
I tend
looking
to
for
agree
this
with
kind
that.
of attention, right? And
here-
again, this is not unique.
Yeah.
This is something he
This
does
is his daily.
all the time.
Yeah.
And it just
No,
it's just not worth it.
I was just amused to find out that basically, he's a little sideshow barker trying to sell
Yeah.
B12.
No,
He's been that
so-
way for years.
Yeah.
No, but he got elevated to weird things because fucking Robert Stone saw him coming. And
Yeah, that was the other thing, was to
Knew he could
make
jag his audience.
donations to Robert Stone's defense fund.
Well, because Robert Stone still, I haven't checked recently, but I think he may still be pulling he's had a conversion and he's all godly now. And
Yeah, right.
so, Robert Stone, I liked you more when you had orgies and were fucking open about it.
Yeah.
Like when you just liked politics at a fucking unhealthy level.
All right. West Virginia election results should have Biden rethinking his strategy. Why? Explain this.
Okay, so we touched briefly on this once
Okay.
before, right? But Donald Trump endorsed a candidate who won in Tuesday's primary between two incumbent Republican congressmen. And so the congressman who got beat, they got reduced one seat. So they had two incumbents fighting each other for the Republican nomination. So anyway, the whole point is that, Biden came in with this idiotic idea that he could have bipartisanship and do the infrastructure, which of course has all been proven to be total bullshit. He's done nothing in infrastructure to speak of. But it turns out that the 14 Republicans who voted with him on infrastructure, most of them aren't coming back to Washington. They've been set aside by the Republican Party. You can't do bipartisanship with the fucking Trump tards. Biden, wake the fuck up.
Yeah. No,
he's making the same mistake Obama made.
Yep.
Or mistakes, I should say.
Yeah.
No, Susan Collins, fucking Mitt Romney, all of the indoor Republican or House-broken Republicans, they're welcome to vote the right way on obvious shit, but I don't know. I don't know why at this point. Fuck it. Somebody should torpedo Manchin.
So anyway, he made a deal with Senate Republicans after he repeatedly modified his infrastructure package to do what the Republicans wanted. Passed a $1.2 billion infrastructure bill, hasn't passed anything since.
Billion or
He
trillion?
mocked fellow, what?
Billion or trillion?
Trillion.
Okay.
What did I say?
I thought billion, but
Probably. Billion?
right?
You did the same thing I did yesterday.
Yeah,
$100 trillion.
Just checking.
So anyway, he was saying, Democrats had called him naive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But he hasn't passed a single thing since then. And of those few Republicans who voted for the infrastructure, they're not coming back. So wake up, Uncle Joe, if
Right.
you ever do. So,
Yep.
anyhow.
Bernie, you can do it. I got nothing.
Yep. Good old Republican Patsy Biden. So,
I'll
anyway.
give her a break.
And
Go back
still
to
better
normal.
than-
Oh
yeah.
yeah, absolutely better than. But
Yeah.
we still haven't managed to get fucking Trump barred from running.
He could be
again.
unconscious and still be better.
Yeah.
So, anyhow. Jesus Christ,
bless.
Democratic Party, wake the fuck up and do something for working folks.
Right?
You may have missed your big chance, but you should sure as shit be talking about it.
Go down
And you
swinging.
should be getting a $20 minimum wage on the ballot in every fucking state.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
That would
People,
at least make
wake
it hard for
the fuck
the people Trump
up.
gets easily.
Yeah.
That he's woken up and made angry about stuff.
Yeah.
We should probably make it be angry at the rich people who, well, they're driving the bus and are reaping most of the reward.
Well, having purchased a substantial number of our legislators.
Well, and it's every American's little fucking favorite
And you go look
goddamn
at-
shortcut. Follow the money.
Yeah, go look at Rand Paul and
Look at
find
who
out why he
benefits.
supports Putin.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Batshit and madness.
had enough of that shit. I really had.
All right, updates with Boomer Rex. What do you have for us?
So, an interesting health item is a fox kit from Anoka County, Minnesota, has tested positive for the avian flu.
Yep.
Right? So, again, this is what's circulating now as avian flu does not appear to infect people, right? We've had
Come on,
flocks
fox
of
mutations.
thousands. We've had flocks of thousands of chickens euthanized by people.
Yeah.
Right, walking around,
None of those people caught it.
grabbing chickens and so forth. Yes, they had protective gear.
They're humans. No one's that good with their protective gear.
Right. So anyhow, just interesting that it crossed a species boundary. So
It took me like
And-
half of the opening paragraph to get that when you said fox kit, we were talking about baby fox as opposed to. By the end, I just had like a sort of medically like shaped box with like a foxtail sticking out. Like
Yeah.
my brain going, "Fuck it, man! I don't
this
know."
is how you build a fox.
Yeah, just wait. There'll be more context in a little
Yeah.
while. Don't say
Anyway,
anything; they'll think you're crazy.
so it has crossed a species boundary. One of the problems with having other species infected is that viruses do mutate,
Do it.
right?
I believe in you.
So I'm willing to bet that fox kits are closer to humans than, say,
Like,
chickens.
hell no.
So-
First, it's gonna hop to the dogs, and then it'll run up the family pet.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Anyway, the Centers for Disease Control continues to say there's very little risk to the public.
Yeah, so
Well, again, based on what we know now,
Yeah.
right? And as we learn more, that assessment may change.
Well, and as we saw with COVID, as a thing becomes more and more important, there's more and more groups you get new information from.
Yeah.
And then you figure the average of that.
Yeah.
So,
Data and its analysis are everything.
yeah.
But hey, they lied to me. No, they didn't lie to you. They told you exactly the truth as they knew it at the time they told you.
Yep.
And if you don't understand that, you are scientifically illiterate and probably should not express an opinion on those matters.
No, but we've allowed
Because
through
those of us who
TV
aren't laugh at you.
the production of people absolutely trained for the knee jerk, right? The fastest, shortest explanation they can come up with.
Yeah.
And I get into mysteries, get into something. You've got to look for a little bit more complexity in
yeah.
your fucking problems and answers.
Yep. Go watch CNN
If you
3
think
nights
it's a
a week.
simple answer, I worry you don't know enough to be talking right now. And
Right.
someone, if you keep talking, they're going to figure it out.
Yep. Better to keep your mouth shut and have
Yep.
people not find out you're stupid. So anyway, we'll go on to climate weirding, where there's some rich folks on the shore in California who are discovering that, wildfire is the new normal, right? And so they lost $24 million houses today. So, and it ain't out yet. It's
hoping they don't have fire
21%
insurance.
contained. So, and they have 500 of those houses evacuated.
Good.
So the good news is the wind will die down a little bit tonight and they'll get in, maybe
Yeah.
they can get in some
If you
lines.
can afford $1 million home, you're fine. I'm not worried about you. You'll figure it out.
But you might notice,
The cream will rise to the top and all that, whatever you assholes tell yourselves.
anyway. And then the last one, the flower blood supermoon, right? For those of you who want to plan, this is now, Sunday evening, right into early Monday morning if you're on the East Coast. And if you're on the West Coast, it's all evening of the 15th, Sunday. So anyway, it starts at 10:28 Eastern Daylight Time. The total eclipse, lunar eclipse, starts at 11:30. The best of the total eclipse, this is when the moon is in the center of the Earth's shadow, is at 12:11 Eastern Daylight. And the end of totality is 12:55 a.m. Eastern Daylight, which means that basically it lasts for a little over an hour, right? Now, if you're on the West Coast, the moon will be in partial eclipse when it rises,
Okay.
right? So, and if you're local, right, so this would be, Arizona or California, because we're basically on California time. The local start is 7:28 p.m. The start of total is 8:29. The best total is at 9:11. And the end of total is at 9:55. So, late evening. By the way, the best total is at 04:11 GMT, right, on the 16th. So if you know what your time zone is relative to GMT, then you can figure out when the best is, and it lasts for about 30 minutes on either side of that.
Yeah. Also, you've got an education, so you've probably got money, so you should send us some so we can get an airship.
Absolutely.
Then
And
we'll
then
take
you
pictures
could take pictures
of
from the
the- yeah.
airship. Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
totally what we do.
Yeah.
I mean,
That'd be cool.
We'll even
is.
chase the solar eclipse. That'd be fun.
I'm absolutely sure.
Watch
you
it
can
race
put a little
across the
drone Air
ground.
Force.
That was the scariest thing I've ever seen.
I just want to drone and chase someone with a
Mm.
steak knife. What?
That was the scariest thing I've ever seen.
Hmm.
Was the shadow of a total
Yeah.
solar eclipse
Nah, I got a
coming
good picture
toward
of that.
us.
Yeah, that's some
And
ominous shit.
this is 1,000 miles an hour.
The first monkey must have run like fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna get me. Oh,
And
it got me.
nothing you do
Oh, not even a
prepares you for, and you have to be in a situation where you can see the shadow and see it coming.
little. Yeah.
But it is coming so fast that it's totally obvious. You can't get away from whatever
Yeah.
that evil is that's coming your way. Wow.
And I got a good picture of it.
All right,
Yeah, you did.
I'm just gonna make a reference here. There's actually a scene in Sailor Moon where
Fuck
bad
no.
people come through a portal that's open during a total solar
great.
eclipse,
Okay.
and yeah, no, when you were talking about Eber, blah blah blah, I was like, huh, Sailor Moon, that
Yeah.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, no.
The circus people are gonna come get us.
Well, and you expect it to come with wind. My favorite part was the ants going, "Oh fuck," and running back inside.
Yeah.
Going, oh, it's nighttime.
How is it nighttime, dude?
Yeah.
Bill, come on, we gotta go.
Yeah,
And we tried to photograph the ripples that people talk about and didn't.
maybe.
On the other hand, we were in a smoky atmosphere up,
Yeah.
Montana way, where like the whole state was on fire. So,
Yeah.
All right, well maybe.
but it was
we'll,
still wonderful. You should go to a total solar
yeah, maybe we'll have
eclipse.
better luck this next run that's coming up
Yep.
next 2 years from now,
Yeah.
24.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so
What's the level
Looking
you figure
forward to
between
that.
a sonic weapon
I think
and
there's an
sonic harassment?
annular. I think there's an annular. A year before the total in a very similar spot. And annular is fun too.
Sure.
all right, so
Wait.
I have a rant.
Do it.
And I'm going to ask you to maintain your
quiet.
composure until my rant
Keep all
is
questions till
done,
the end.
and then you can tell me how dumb I am or whatever. That's fine. I don't care. I'm done.
I don't think I've ever said
don't
you were
care.
dumb.
No. I don't mean it that
Yeah.
way. I don't mean it in a bad way.
We'll take it apart all Skeksis style.
Like
after
you
you're
do.
done.
Yeah. But
Name one time.
this
Well,
is,
we'll let
this
her
is-
do. We'll let
Yeah.
her do her.
Yeah,
speech.
this I'm going to ask to just let me get through this.
Shut up. dumb
Okay,
boy.
Rant is a two-part command. Command preparation is prepare to,
Ready?
and the command of execution is rant.
Fair.
Waiting.
Okay. It seemed to have started with Roe v. Wade. The ruling hasn't even officially come down, and states are moving to take away abortion rights, 13 specifically, with 5 more already having laws in the books just waiting for the word. 14 states look to restrict abortion to 22 weeks or less, and many may move to ban them completely afterwards. But if you look just a bit harder, you'll find LGBTQ have been hit hard this year. As of March 20th, 2022, 238 bills that limit the rights of the LGBTQ community, and roughly half of those pointed at transgender Americans, were quietly passed, with most of us none the wiser. Well, I'm here to tell you to wake the fuck up. They are slowly and pointedly whispering to people that can barely tell their left from their right about all the horrors of the demonic world around them, the terror of a person choosing pronouns or loving someone of another race, the terror of communities begging for equality, for their right to live, stomping on our women's rights to health care, and claiming to be pro-life while putting laws into place that guarantee more death. I have no words for the kind of ignorance it must take to believe any of this. How a person can look at this for longer than a few seconds without asking how it makes any sense. How someone can read or listen to obvious lies about God and Satan. How people can't even read and understand their own book. One that aggressively has no stance on abortion, nor says LGBTQ are bad. In the Bible, ignorance is no excuse and laziness is a sin. These people can't stop to consider the fact that they are free to do what they want. Don't want to be gay? Great, then don't. Don't want to have an abortion? Sweet, enjoy your baby. Don't want to have LGBTQ friends? Great, you're doing them a favor. My point here is, I don't give a rat's ass what you do in your life. What I'm telling you is to keep your religion out of our politics and your opinions to your fucking selves. End rant.
Yeah, because otherwise it makes me want to go, well, fuck, if we're going to do, right, deeply held religious belief bullshit, I can absolutely deeply hold some religious bullshit. And wait, you mean there's no requirement of any kind of proof for any of it? Oh, creative writing assignment. I'm on it.
So, I'm just this is just me
Yeah.
being done. Just absolutely done with the insanity, the lies,
Oh, yeah.
the over exaggerations, the the cults that are Satan and demons and what
Yeah.
kind of a world
If you want
are
to
you
know who
living
your
in?
pedophiles are, you look at the internet porn consumption of men in red states. So, anyhow, you looking the wrong way there, re-thugs.
No, again, like, I understand that some of these people went through some traumas, which makes them really susceptible to the idea of we need to catch these pedophiles and stuff because the person who did it to me got away and I can't let that happen to somebody else and blah, blah, blah. And I respect that. I really fucking do. I fight every day for women to be safe in this world, and we're not. For children to be safe in this world, and they're not. And these Republicans and these laws they're trying to put out, these fucking Christian idiots who can't see 3 feet past their own damn noses, can't even read their own fucking book, can't even comprehend the words in their own goddamn book.
How's
Fuck
Alaska into
you.
hentai?
At least it's hentai and not like
No,
child.
no,
Anyway, little girls with big eyes. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Oh yeah.
So, speaking of the attack on the LGBTQ, huge number of school systems have distributed e-readers that are hooked to a library, right, as part of the school.
Yeah.
And so this was just a lifesaver during COVID, right, is that kids could find books to read and so forth and so on and so on. So anyway, they're now taking them out of schools.
Of course
Right,
they are.
and turning off the access to books because they might be able to find an LGBTQ book.
Yep.
Oh no.
So they have found another way to make their children more ignorant, less well educated, dumber, and less prepared for the world.
Yeah.
So
No,
big shock.
When I was in school,
Way to go, Thuglikins.
They taught us how to do taxes. When I was in school, they taught us how to read and understand and be able to follow stocks.
Okay.
When I was in school, we learned how to cook,
Yep.
how to sew, and not just girls. This was a required class
Yeah.
for boys and girls. So what the fuck happened?
I took a home ec class.
Do you know the home ec class my son took? Do you know what they were having him make? Smoothies and putting quesadillas. So you took a flat, the tortilla.
Yeah.
You put cheese on it. You
And
put
fold
another
it over.
tortilla on top, and you put it in the microwave.
Yeah.
That's what they taught him for cooking. I was making muffins from scratch.
I took home ec. And I had run out of other courses to take. And at some point, that occurs to you, that's where the girls are. So I was the only boy in a home ec class.
Why are Vermont and New Hampshire into giantesses? I mean, I'm not judging. No judgment. Just
Amazonians, maybe?
I don't know.
The concept of like big,
Nah.
powerful
I
women.
got nothing.
Who knows?
I'm all
Yeah.
about it.
What if it makes your stocks roll up and down?
So-
Vermont?
Yeah.
Here's my thing. Okay.
And you know where you got that, right? You got that from Betty Boop.
We've been talking about the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida.
Yeah.
And I've been saying K through 3rd grade.
Yeah.
I have confirmed today that it is supposed to be for K through 3rd grade.
Right.
However, we talked about 2 stories yesterday that included middle schoolers and high schoolers.
Yep.
Who are not supposed to be under this Don't Say Gay bill. So I'm telling you, if you want to talk about overreaching, look to your Republican counterparts. Look to the Republicans you put into office. These are the ones that are overstepping their reach and their boundaries and even overstepping the laws that they themselves
Just
put in fucking place.
Yep. So anyway, standard Republicans.
Yep.
The re-thugs always overreach. So that's our big chance for the 2022 election.
Yeah.
Right? They have decided to run freaks and weirdos.
Yep.
And we need to
The
point
sex
that out at
police.
every turn. Yeah.
That
Ooh,
should
I
be
like
hard
that,
to
the
make
sex
fun
police.
popular.
Yeah. All right. Sex police. I love that.
Fine.
So
But that's what this is all about. Like, they
Yeah.
bitch about the nanny state, and now they're into, like, who and what you can fuck. And
The sex inquisitors? Yeah, sex police.
yeah.
No, this is
Police aren't all that popular.
very disheartening for someone such as myself who was raised to believe that we here in America have certain rights and certain freedoms and that nothing could take those away.
And that this
And now I'm sitting here watching as, first of all, I learned that not only is all of that a lie, but that the rights I thought we had were very over exaggerated. And on top of that, the freedom to, move from, to work hard enough to make enough money to be able to become at least somewhat prosperous and be able to afford like a family and a house.
And a car and a vacation once a
there
year.
have been laws put into place to stop me from being able to do these things.
Yeah.
That there are systems that were put into place to keep me held down. And when I say me, I'm talking about all of you out there listening.
Every working
All
person.
of us. This isn't just this is just my own realization of the horrors of being an American.
No, and that's as a boomer, right? My experience was different. I rode the crest of the last wave of the American dream.
Yep.
Right? So,
Gen X stepped in right when you had a big retirement push,
yeah,
so everyone was moving up a slot,
yeah.
and then Herger.
Well, then we realized that you could break the unions and reduce everybody's pay and
Yep.
take away their pensions and the whole routine. So,
You can
anyway.
abuse people, treat them like crap, and they'd have to stay because where are you going to get a job? Where else
So,
are you going to go?
They needed
It was led
insurance.
by Republicans, purchased, right, by the rich.
Yep.
But it was ineffectively opposed by Democrats who thought America would return to normal.
Yep.
America's not going to return to normal, you asshole. Get up on your hind goddamn fucking legs and fight. So, wake up,
America's
Democratic
normal
Party.
is the bonus army, is the mine war, is the Pullman strike, is
Yeah.
some really
All those
bad
times the
capitalist
authority of
robber
the
baron
government,
shit.
yeah, was used against working folks. And it's coming back.
Yep.
So,
Democrats, you've got to be able to draw a positive distinction between that and yourself, like,
you kind of hope.
especially if they're going both like remorseless capitalist and sex police.
But
Y'all,
you need to keep Wall Street Barbie the hell off your national stage.
yeah.
all right. What we need to focus on, right, is keeping religion out of our government. Religion has no place in the American government, and that is one of the things that they were very firm on from the very, very beginning.
Yeah, because
And you can't do a thing about that until
religion.
you have made America a better place to live with a higher wage and health care that works
Oh, yeah.
and housing that people can afford. Because until then, the religious zealots have an advantage in recruiting the downtrodden.
All right. So on these happy notes, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, heart, follow, review. Go to BoomerRexTonight. No spaces on Facebook for fun memes and a link to our Patreon. Give us $1. You can find us on YouTube as BoomerRex, or check your favorite podcasting service for BoomerRexTonight. We can be found on over a dozen different platforms, including Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Samsung Podcasts. And hit us up on Twitter at BRexTonight. And don't forget, just Googling BoomerRexTonight, no spaces, everything you see will lead you to us. So everything the light touches is ours. So
There's something kind of sad about watching Risen learn that it's not even about having the best argument or, right, being able to explain why a thing is true or why we ought to be.
Right, because at least a third of the people that you're arguing
That's not a
with,
policy argument. It hasn't been, right?
Yeah.
She's evolving past the point where the Democratic Party has stopped, where they believe that there's a magical set of words that will explain to people that, no, of course, that's not what we're saying. Don't be dumb.
No, you have to understand that 1/3 of America does not use reason because it doesn't work for them. because they were poorly educated intentionally.
Yep.
By the way, that has been the Republican push for 30 years.
That's
And
reason
they
we
are
attacked them.
continuing along those same veins as we speak. So,
Yes.
if you want to talk about who's dumbing down America, you can point your finger right at the Republicans. Or if you are a Republican, point at yourself in the goddamn mirror.
Yep.
Fuck you. All
Even
right.
if that's not what you believe, that's what the rest of your party did when you weren't looking.
That's right.
It's time
They
to jump
wrecked the
ship.
American dream, and you're still voting for them.
It's my big defense on like how I can be a Democrat when they fuck up and there are all these things to make blood
Yeah.
shoot out of my everywhere. And the answer is because if the absolute worst thing happened and Democrats got everything they ever wanted,
Right.
I
It
might
would be a
worry
better
about
world.
what that would do to our society long term. If Republicans got everything they wanted, I don't believe our society has a long term.
Right.
If
I
you're-
agree.
If you're listening to this show, I assume that you have some amount of thought rumbling around in your head, and I hope
Come
that
share it on Facebook.
if you are not of our thought processes,
Definitely
that
come
you think very hard about the things we are telling you and take into consideration. And I want you to know that I love you. All right?
Yep.
I love you as an American and as a human being, and you have the right to your opinion and your feelings. Where I draw the line is where you try to tell me
Policy.
what my opinions and feelings should be.
Yeah.
So, again,
But
nothing
here's the
but
scary
love,
thing,
but
what if we're right?
just keep in mind that there are lines you can cross with people and bad things will happen.
Whoa.
So,
Yeah.
love you all, and we'll see you back
Go
here
get
tomorrow
rid of the
night
chili.
on Boomer Rex
Don't forget about your
tonight.
shit, we should
Good
have-
night.